Hi, today I would like to share a couple of ideas or thoughts about the planets in astrology and their role in one's natal chart. So, a little bit of history. Now, from the ancient times, 7 planets have been referred to in sacred writings as belonging to and making our solar system. In Christian Bible, one can read about 7 churches in Asia and the 7 spirits which are before the throne. It is written the 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches. Now, occult writers refer to these verses as meaning of planets and the 7 great planetary angels, the planetary hierarchies, the 7 archangels, and that each planetary angel is an aspect of God and doing the work the higher powers have ordained to be done in the universe. So no planet therefore can be evil, but may have its disciplinary action for the good of humanity and to help souls in their evolution. The 7 planets are the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Uranus and Neptune, and later on Pluto, were not spoken of by early writers, and those who did mentioned them only as planets outside of our solar system, which have a certain spiritual influence over us. Now, I have read and found many interesting texts about and regarding this subject, so today I will be talking about the Sun and the Moon, the luminaries, and videos after this one will be about other planets. Now, this will be a series which I think will consist of 4 videos, I think. So let's begin with the Sun, or Helios, Apollo, Sol. It is the central body of solar system. The Sun is the source of the vital power, and it is the regulator and principal source of the life forces. Now, the Sun stands at the head of the vital group. It is connected with the angel Michael in Christianity. Leo is the sign ruled by the Sun, and it is the only sign of the Sun. It is closely connected with the 5th house, as Leo is the 5th zodiac sign. When strong and powerful at the birth, the Sun tends to make the life and general fate more favorable, and when weak, well, it will make one's life undignified or ill-dignified. When badly aspected, the health, vitality, fate, and destiny can be very trying and unfavorable. The Sun is typical of spirit and Moon of the matter. The Sun is hot, dry, electric, positive, masculine, fiery, diurnal, barren, life-giving, constructive, variable, and vital in action. It is a psychological planet and it's called the light of time. Traditionally, it was said it gives principality to the brain and the heart of the man. Now, some texts say that the Sun is more powerful in health matters when above the horizon at birth, as it has the strong rule over the physical constitution, and the strength of the constitution is at its full when above the horizon at birth, and weaker when below. Sun rules by day and Moon by night. So in the 1st house and in the fiery sign, it usually gives good constitution. Now the Sun in the 7th house, just before sunset, also gives a great constitution. But the Sun becomes weaker for health and strength when it passes into the 6th house after sunset, and especially if afflicted by or in conjunction with malefics. It is connected with the fevers and inflammation in the body, with the brain and heart, circulation of the blood, and the vitality. It is indicator of health, especially for male individuals. And people born under the fiery signs may need more sunlight for better overall health. Now, these are traditional teachings, which to an extent are correct, but all of this can be discussed. So the Sun is reckoned as benefic and a fortune when with or in good aspect with the benefics, and not afflicted by malefics. It is said that the Sun is in friendly terms with every planet, but to a lesser extent to Saturn. But in the sign of Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn, known as the malefic, actually tends to give longevity and endurance. Now, the Sun corresponds to the right eye of the person, and in nature and action, it is close to Mars. The influence of the Sun is circumferential. It goes in circles, like the ripples on water when you throw a stone into a pond, for example. Colors of the Sun are gold, orange, saffron, golden yellow, and it is inclined to purple. The Sun gives somewhat of a reddish or sunburned complexion. The cycle of the Sun is 28 years. A period of 28 years is called solar cycle. The sun is at home and strongest in its own sign. Leo has his exaltation in Aries, his fall in Libra, and his detriment in Aquarius. Some of the plants and flowers that are connected with the sun are chamomile, sunflowers, angelica, ash, frankincense, rosemary, juniper, walnuts, saffron, safflower. Traditionally, it signifies the father and things connected to him, his affairs. Metals and minerals of the sun are gold, chrysolite or chrysolite, carbuncle, and ancient gemstone. This is another name for a deep red almandine gemstone. This term referred to any red gemstone, but most often it was red garnet. The motion of the sun is always direct and never retrograde. The sun is considered to be organic and the moon is functional. The day of the sun is Sunday. It may be nice to say that even though the sun is very important in one's natal chart, the importance of other planets also have great significance. However, if the sun is very afflicted, no amount of benefit from the other planets will make up for that deprivation. Basically, the sun is the axle of the wheel in a natal chart. So in the earthly signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, sun gives excess of energy, increases pride, and gives a headstrong individuality. In watery signs of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, strong sun gives great emotion, passion, and sympathy. And in fiery signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, sun tends to power, leadership, dignity, and ambition. In the Aries signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, it inclines to intellectual energy, to ability, social interests, arts, and sciences. And now let's move on to the moon, or the Selene, Diana, or Luna, is one of the principal influences to be considered, as her aspects, position, influences, and progress positions tend to bring into action the vibrations of the sun and other planets for good or bad over human life. The moon is the collector of the solar forces and reflects the heat and light of the sun. And by her rapid course around the zodiac, the 12 signs, she is the distributor and conveyor of the forces of the sun and other planets she passes and aspects. In Christianity, it is connected with the angel Gabriel. There is something fun I have read about how moon became. It was said that the moon was thrown off from the earth because it became a hard crystal and it was holding back the evolution of the earth. And the bones of a human body were soft and made of cartilage before it was thrown off. So after that, the human skeleton became stronger. Basically, the distant action of the moon now is to crystallize and harden. So the moon is feminine in quality, and along with Venus, a feminine planet, a general significator of health in female individuals and rules the female functions. The moon stands at the head of the functional group and it rules the nighttime. It has special affinity to the eyes, particularly left eye, and if afflicted at birth, it can cause eye disorders. The moon has the greatest effect in infancy and affects both body and mind. Afflicted at birth rarely brings good health, especially in females. The sign position of the moon at birth represents personal character, overall personality, habits, the functional activities, and health according to the nature of the sign, house position, and aspects. So in quality, the moon is negative, feminine, magnetic, cold, moist, fruitful, changeful, lymphatic, romantic, and wandering. Her influence tends to change and also acts as an expulsive and cleansing agency. She's also a receiver and a preparer. A moon person is ever inconsistent, it's restless, changeable, and variable. The moon represents the matter, organic decay, and non-permanent experiences. Now, the sign Cancer is the home and only sign of the moon. She has her exaltation in Taurus, her fall in Scorpio, and her detriment in Capricorn. It was said that the signs of Cancer and Pisces are the best signs for the moon, and the Aries signs are also favorable to an extent. Now, the fire signs are not considered good for the moon, as it may give hasty and excitable nature. In Earth sign of Virgo, it may cause digestive problem. Keep in mind, these are classical teachings. For the moon to be powerful in natal chart, it should be above horizon in a night chart and below horizon in a day chart. When the moon is above the horizon in a night chart, the functional activities of the body could be more regular and normal. It has a strong influence on the lymphatic system in the body, and when in watery signs of Cancer and Pisces, it should give strong and efficient functions. The moon acts as a medium of relationship between the sun, the planets, and people, animals, vegetable life, and all of the mundane affairs. She rapidly takes the magnetic force from the other planets and distributes it, and then quickly lets go, and in this way produces change in a great variety of conditions over mind and body. The moon and Mercury are considered variable and changeable planets, which take on much of the nature and attributes of the planets with which they are configured. For example, moon with Saturn may give a very serious and grave nature and personality, and the moon with Jupiter could give a more light and optimistic personality. Moon rules green, white, white spotted and light mixed colors, and also silver and violet. The color of the moon has a passive power, and white is the sign of radical moisture. It is said that the moon is friendly with all of the planets except Saturn and Mars. Its metals are silver and aluminium. Gemstones and minerals connected with the moon are emerald, marquisite, moonstone, and selenite. Herbs and plants, at least some of them that are connected with the moon, are iris, cabbage, honeysuckle, lettuce, meadow lily, white poppy, yellow water lily, pumpkin, and willow. Now, first quarter of the moon exerts a hot and dry influence and acts especially on the bile. It is also connected with the revitalization of the fluids and functions of the body, as with the organic development. Full moon is of cold and dry nature and is typical of maturity and high tide. New moon is hot and moist in influence. The functional activities are actually lower at this time. Fits of nervousness are more pronounced at new and full moon. Now, third quarter is cold and moist and has a special effect on the lymphatic system. It is atypical of the reaping period, like reaping of the harvest, and the application of the power already generated. Sleep is overall better or more quiet during the third quarter of the moon. An interesting fact, to some maybe that nightmares and dreams usually occur about 48 hours before the moon's perigee, which is the point in orbit of the moon at which it is nearest to the Earth. Now, there is something called metonic cycle, and that is cycle of the moon in which there are 235 lunations or synodic months. So the nodes of the moon complete one revolution or orbital revolution when one body moves around another in about 1,000 weeks or 19 years. And the moon forms conjunction with the sun on the same day every 19 years. So the eclipse at this time is considered to be very powerful for good or bad, especially in health matters, according to sign, aspects, and the house position in a natal chart. And I would like to say a couple of words about moon's nodes. Now, these are two marks in a natal chart which can be completely neglected. Some say that the influence attributed to them has been explained by the discovery of Uranus and Neptune, but there are instances where we can see that their influence is very much marked in a natal chart. Now, these nodes of the moon are the points at which the moon crosses the ecliptic. In astrology, they are called caput draconis and cauda draconis, or the head and tail of the dragon. Now, the influence of the head of the dragon combines in a somewhat sudden and violent manner the effects of the Sun and Jupiter, and because of that, it is favorable for starting or beginning any great operations or actions. Now, the tail of the dragon, which is always opposite to the head of the dragon in the heavens, well, it has opposite influence. It is good for ending a matter, but may imply sudden losses, just as head of the dragon indicates sudden gains. Now, physically, in a human, these points can indicate someone's height. Now, in ancient studies, it was said that neither the head nor the tail of the dragon form aspects with the planets. Basically, classical astrology only considered their aspects to the moon. Now, their only importance was their position in a natal chart. And this will be it for today. I will be seeing you again in a couple of days with part 2, which will be Mercury, Venus, and Mars in astrology. Now, I was advised to ask in the end of my videos for people to subscribe. So please subscribe, and thank you for watching my videos. Bye.